early on I've had some questions, some input, and kind of maybe some confusion as to what the foundation was about. And so what I asked is to put this on the agenda so Mr. Stewart could do an introduction about what the foundation is about, what its intention is, and then you pose any kind of questions you have. I'd like to introduce Clay Stewart. He's a retired HPD officer. He's a Fulshear area resident and is a contributing member and has been for a long time of the Houston Police Foundation, which is a very successful organization in its endeavors. So, Clay?
Thanks, sir. Good evening, Council. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you this evening regarding the Fulshear Police Foundation. The good thing about this, folks, is you won't have to vote on anything. It's not going to cost you any money. And I'll try not to take very long. My name is Clay Stewart. I'm a resident of Weston Lakes. When someone asks me, where do you live? I say, I live in Fulshear, Texas. And I say that very proudly, by the way. My wife, Brenda, and I, we love living out here and this community. And we absolutely love it. It's heaven on earth to us. The chief took some of my fire away from me there, but I'm going to go with it anyway. I'm retired from the Houston Police Department. I served a little over 40 years there. I worked in all facets of law enforcement while at the Houston Police Department, with the last 20 years of my career being assigned to the FBI Violent Crimes Task Force here in Houston. As everyone on the City Council recognizes, Fulshear and the surrounding area, it is growing leaps and bounds. It's just amazing. If you go away on vacation for 2 weeks and you come back, there's new homes, there's new businesses popping up everywhere. With the influx of the new residents and businesses and business places, a heavy burden is being placed on city services, especially that of crime prevention and safety. The Fulshear Police Department serves this community in an exemplary fashion. It is well respected, staffed and operated efficiently, and in a professional manner. The citizens of Fulshear should be proud that the city administration, especially the city council, recognizes the importance of funding the police department to the best of its ability. The vast majority of the annual police department's budget is dedicated to pay officers' salaries. That's pretty near a given. And it's the same with all cities, large or small. There's just so much of the budget pie to go around for the various departments. The Fulshear Police Foundation is being formed by a group of local businesses and leaders, along with citizens, to support the initiatives of the Fulshear Police Department. The foundation will be financed by donations made by individuals and businesses. The Fulshear Police Foundation is a nonprofit 501c3 corporation and is non-political. The foundation will support the police department regardless of who the chief is. When I say non-political, I mean the foundation will not publicly nor privately support one political candidate or another. If a foundation board member decides to run for public office, we will require that individual to resign from the board before publicly announcing intentions to seek office. Foundation members who might be appointed to a government committee are an exception and may continue to serve the Police Foundation Board. There'll probably be some questions on that, but at any rate, the role of the Fulshear Police Department is not to replace or to reduce in any way the responsibility of the city of Fulshear to provide necessary funding for the police department to provide the necessary services to its citizens. The Fulshear Police Foundation is being formed to improve performance and capabilities within the Fulshear Police Department by funding training, equipment acquisition, and procurement of new technology, which would not be feasible under the current Fulshear City budget. Requests for funding will come on a written request from the police department and will be reviewed by a committee for consideration. Any items purchased by the foundation will become property of the police department. Its utilization will be determined by the police department within their regulations and guidelines. The foundation will not be hampered with the red tape involved in purchasing equipment through the bid process, often necessitated by city regulation. Examples of future requests might be tactical vests for high-risk situations, body cameras, marine equipment, scuba capabilities, crime scene unit vehicle, surveillance, secure surveillance communication, fingerprint kits, medical and tactical kits for patrol vehicles, computers, computer equipment, programs, or laptops for investigations. And that's not all inclusive. Not knowing what all demands will be made on the Fulshear Police Department in the future, we are a support organization that hopefully will help fill in some of the void when a necessity comes to our attention. Funding for enhanced training may include fingerprint training, the collection of DNA, photographic evidence, domestic violence, computer forensics, narcotics, homicide, auto theft. It's the whole gamut of crimes that are committed in any community. Also, officers, having been one for 40 years, it's very, very important that we receive training on an ongoing basis, not just the 40 hours that's required every 2 years. Things change in investigations, technology, techniques for safety factors, and so it's very important to keep your officers trained at the highest possible level that we can. And that's where the Police Foundation could step up and support financially officers that have been selected to attend that training, and then those officers can come back to the police department and teach other officers what they've learned at their school. It's a very valuable tool. The foundation will encourage citizen involvement by promoting awareness, safety, and having an annual banquet to recognize the outstanding performance of individual officers. And that about wraps it up. Thank you for your time. I will entertain any questions anybody has. We look forward to getting this thing off the ground. We have approximately 14 local businessmen and community leaders who have stepped forward, and we've had one meeting. We have not formally presented our charter to the state, but it will be coming very, very shortly. And we are looking very forward to assisting our police department here.
The police department is definitely endeared with our community, and we have great support. So I have another organization supporting Fulshear, and especially the police department, they put themselves on the line day in and day out. Please thank your members and potential members for really having the desire to bring this forward. And I'll open it up for any questions from council or comments.
What city officials on
There are no city officials on. It's very non-political.
Are all of your committee members local residents?
Yes, ma'am. For the most part, either they are local residents or they have businesses or land in Fulshear or the immediate area. I myself am not a resident of Fulshear. I feel like I'm not. I do it here. I trade here. I buy gas. I eat. Go to the doctor. I mean, you got a sick dog. Whatever you have, this is home. And the true story is that law enforcement in this day and age, they are being pulled in all different directions, along with memorandums of understandings that agencies have interagency amongst one another, where that they share responsibilities, equipment, manpower, respond especially in the cases of emergency. Well, when we have an emergency in Weston Lakes, our lifesavers are the Fulshear Police Department. By God, when they show up, I want them to be the best trained, best equipped, able to save anyone and handle any situation. They are a very, very good police department now. All we want to do is just try to make them better. We will have no say-so in the operation, the management of the police department. That's not our goal at all. Our goal is to support the policemen and the Fulshear Police Department.
Mr. Stewart, thank you for your service as an officer for over 40 years, and thank you for presenting to us.
Any more questions? Thank you.
I do have a question, Mr. Stewart. And
Sure.
Grady might be able to help us on this too. When you were presenting to us, you were saying there's items that might be purchased through the foundation for the police department's use and then belongs to the police department. The question on that part of it being the legal aspect, whatever the item might be, you're police department is a representative of the city of Fulshear, we have a responsibility. Where is the legal aspect in that, where it might say someone generously donates a helicopter or something? You never know. We have generous people in Fulshear, so I'm just saying, where does the city draw its line of responsibility, or how do we act upon the equipment or whatever it might be that they might have?
Well, the city said, you know, don't want to speak for CJ, but the city sets its standards for what it may need on, you may want the Huey helicopter as opposed to the Bell helicopter. But, and then it'll probably vet, you know, those sources of such a large donation. We don't want a drug helicopter.
Exactly. We did not invent the wheel on this. We basically are copying the Houston Police Foundation from the get to the go, their organizational chart all the way from the beginning to the end. As far as the stepping stone, where you go from a normal donation to a donation that you have to look at, has been $25,000 with the Houston Police Foundation. We can set our own boundaries on that. If someone wanted to donate a Huey helicopter, for example, if the police department doesn't want it, they wouldn't accept it. But I cannot speak for the chief, but I certainly would think that if somebody wants to make such a generous donation, that he would approach the city fathers and say, somebody wants to donate a big old helicopter to us. So, but that's none of our business. What we will do is the training, to pay for an officer to attend training, room and board, travel, registration for conferences. I would certainly hope that the city wouldn't look unfavorable on that. Equipment that is safety-minded, tactical vest, ballistic vest, anything that enhances the security of an officer, or the safety of an officer, that equipment will be, the specifications for that equipment will come from the police department. This list of things, I have not spoken to the chief or anyone at the police department regarding what type of equipment you might like. I take that back. I did one day in passing mention to the chief, do y'all have a boat? Because we have lots of lakes and creeks, and they rise and they go down and stuff, and people run into them. Do we have a boat at our disposal in case I run off the road trying to miss a hog going on 1093? Somebody come out there and get me out of the tree. So, but there has been no formal discussion between myself, or to my knowledge, anyone on the prospective board that's coming up, as to what the police department would like. It will not be our suggestions. It will be the request from the police department that we will send before a committee. And if we have the funding, we will either approve it or not approve it. And if we approve it, it will go through the chief as normal operations would within the city, I would suspect.
And I'm not saying I'm disapproving of the organization or anything, it's just more of a legal aspect of, you know, where the fine line between the city and the organization, where the city has the right of use or...
I'm not an attorney, but once something is given to you free and clear, and there is no lien, and it becomes city property, theoretically, I guess, Jeff, y'all could take it and put it up for sale at an auction. I would hate to see that if it was something that had to do with officer safety. So, at any rate, it will become property of the police department, I would assume then also the city.
Sir, thank you so much for what you're offering. I'd just like to ask, and I had a conversation with Chief about that before, I would really like to, if you don't mind, once you go to submit the articles of incorporation, if you don't mind sharing this with the council, this would be greatly appreciated.
We absolutely positively will, and we're getting real close to having the articles of incorporation ready for presentation to the state. Thank you.
And if I could add something to what Clay was saying here, obviously, we just approved the budget for public safety, and I think I got a small portion of the budget, if I'm not mistaken. But in all sincerity,